So I'm going to talk to you a bit today about Graham's Family Dairy, where we've come from, and where we've been in our journey to the cloud and trying to rationalise our IT from an infrastructure point of view. Graham's Family Dairy were founded in 1939, so we've been on the go for a very long time, and it is a proper family business. We still have Robert Graham Sr. as our chairman, his wife is our company secretary, the younger Robert Graham is our managing director, his sister is the marketing director. So we've had this very small, close-knit business that's been going since they were croft farmers back in the 30s. But the business itself has really started to take off since the 1990s, since young Robert joined the business. So back in the sort of the 80s and in 1990, we were just delivering doorstep milk. So your milkman dropping milk off in Stirling and Bridge of Allen, not a big business at all. And from the 1990s through the 2000s, we've managed to accomplish a huge amount in now being one of Scotland's biggest food and drink brands. We're now actually ahead of Iron Brew on our take-home sales. Even down here, down in England, we sell a lot of our Gold Top products, which is the sort of the Jersey milk, the Jersey cream, through in Waitrose and Sainsbury's, all the way down to the south coast, and in fact all of the cottage cheese for Marks and Spencer's and Aldi throughout the UK. In 2011, the brand was sort of, Carol came on board and developed this brand that's allowed us to go into these much larger organisations. So we're now in all of the major supermarkets. We deliver to McDonald hotels, to Costa Coffee, to Starbucks, to Aldi, to lots of customers. But not only these multiples, but also we're still delivering to your local corner shop, to bars, to restaurants, to and even in a couple of areas in Scotland, we still do doorstep milk. So we've got a massively varied customer base, which does make a lot of challenges in the supply chain. So today we have depots as far north as Wick, but primarily in the central belt in Glasgow and Edinburgh. There are our major customers, and we're slightly different from the Wisemans and the Arlas of the world in that 66% of our product is branded Graham's Dairies, whereas our competitors tend to be a lot more own brand milk, a lot more of the Tesco's milk, the Sainsbury's milk. In Scotland, the own brand stuff that we do is primarily Waitrose Essentials milk and the Aldi and Lidl milk. But you can see from this, since this chart here starts at 2000, and the rate of growth between 2000 and 2015 is massive. And from an IT point of view, what you've had is this family-owned business that's been, in the early 90s, was hand-filling milk. The managing director was in there, putting tops on bottles of milk, sending them out to the doorstep. And the company's grown exponentially, but the IT has unfortunately lagged behind because IT was not a core focus of the business. So to try and get away from that, Robert realised sort of about 4 or 5 years ago that something needed to change because it just wasn't working for them. So when we started this journey from an IT point of view, the systems were there was very old servers in there, very limited storage, unreliable tape backups, limited mobility, lots of aging PCs, lots of virus issues. There was no trying to work on the remote sites was a real issue, and it was costing them a lot in terms of IT support and in terms of downtime. Whereas today, this is a wee video which I'm going to show you, which is where we are. So Microsoft did a wee case study on us. So this is showing you a bit of what we're doing just now.
My grandfather came to our farm here in Bridge of Allen in 1939. He rented the farm from the local estate. He milked cows by hand, delivering milk in the village by horse and cart. He worked incredibly hard. My father went into the business when he was 16. I joined in 1991, straight from university. I think the biggest step for us was when our business rebranded in 2006 to Graham's a Family Dairy. We talk about our family serving your family, talk about farming, talk about trust. We deliver milk throughout all of Scotland, from very top right to the borders. Communication for our business is critically important. Moving to Office 365 was the right thing for the business. There's been lots of benefits. But moving to the cloud, we've had more reliability, we've not had to rely on a server, we've had no email outages since we moved to Office 365. In the morning, when I turn my computer on through Power BI, I can see all the live data up to minute in terms of how we're performing. We work with 98 farmers across Scotland. SharePoint allows us to create a platform where they can come in and keep up to date with news about the business. OneDrive for Business allows us to be able to access the same document no matter what device we're using. We're not working off slightly different variations of documents. Office 365 has brought some fantastic new tools for helping our sales team communicate. For us, possibly the most exciting just now is Yammer. We started off here at my grandfather's farm with 17 employees, and now we're a business with hundreds of employees across different sites in Scotland. Technology for us has been a huge part of allowing us to grow a business, still keep the values and the attributes that helped us be successful. It is important to remember we're a family business.
So that was a bit of a Microsoft advertising there, apologies for that. So the first step we did in moving to the cloud was really Exchange Online. It was a very easy thing for us to do, to going from a sort of an Exchange 2003 architecture into an online system. And it's been really, really good for the business. It's been so easy in terms of the migration and in terms of the availability of email now. It's just unbelievable. And in fact, recently we've just deployed the Advanced Threat Protection, which is an extra layer of security, which is part of the new Office 365 suites that have just come out. The second step for us was Intune management. So this was is a product which basically allows us to not only just antivirus on PCs, but having standardized builds, getting visibility of all the hardware in the business, and especially with our delivery handout, we have 250 mobile devices out there with drivers that are delivering milk on a daily basis with little thermal printers, and that's just been very easy. The next step was getting rid of XP, which was made life a lot easier from an IT point of view once that was gone. So Intune allowed us to identify what was out there and allowed us to create a standard build, which was pushed out to all these machines, deploying some Surface devices and touch devices. You saw Max, one of the sales guys there, out on store with his tablet. Next step for us was Windows Mobile. In spring 2014, we got rid of all of our BlackBerries, moved onto the Microsoft Lumia platform, which is incredibly cost effective and really allowed the use of spreadsheets and PowerPoint, etc., on phones very easily, rapid access to their data, and made it a lot more holistic with the on-premise applications. But the real jump for us was when we started using Azure. So we started in Azure using it for our backups. So we now everything gets backed up locally onto disk and then squirted up to the cloud on a nightly basis. We've now got our Active Directory all in the cloud. So that there's we've got an excellent disaster recovery platform there. We've got a very easy access for the remote sites, and it's been very cost effective. The big thing we've had from the board of directors was we have this ethos of a family-owned business, and Robert was sitting there going, right, well, we've gone from, what did he say, 14 employees to over 700 employees now. How do you get the feeling of a family-run small business out to 700 people? So we deployed Yammer as a social networking platform within the business. So we've got all of the sales guys are able to take photographs of their displays to communicate back to the business of what they're doing, what the customers are saying. We have the ability to communicate out to guys who are driving the lorries, who are picking the milk, who are packing stuff in the depots, guys that aren't traditionally connected to IT, so they don't have an email address. They don't see the managing director every day. And the person that's really taken this on board has been, in fact, Jean Graham, who's the current MD's mum, who absolutely loves this. She's in her early 80s, and she sits on Yammer and just doling out basically praise to the sales guys whenever they post it, which of course they love, because what sales guys don't love praise from the board. So it's been fantastic, and we've in fact just recently integrated this with our digital signage. So all of our depots have big TVs in the receptions, and we're able to, and we have the TVs in the canteens as well, and they're able to sort of see the messages that are going on in the business, so that the guys out there, your drivers, the guys who are washing the vans, the guys that are milking the cows, these guys can see what's going on with the rest of the business. Last year we went and implemented Azure databases, which was really for our front office for ordering system. So we had a big issue in that we had these 7,000 customers, 7,000 customers, and 250 lorries delivering milk every single day. And they were going out with carbon copy paper printed on impact printers, the proper old school duplicate paper. And they were going out and they were getting, orders were getting changed, and they were scribbling them out and writing on the orders and all of this stuff. And as you can imagine, in Scotland, going out with a little bit of paper when you're outside in the winters, it comes back quite soggy sometimes. And there were teams of staff who were rekeying all this data on a daily basis. So we thought, well, hang on, guys, we need to sort this out. We need to do something a bit more clever. So we implemented this ERP system. It's not really an ERP system, an order management system, which is based on ruggedized Android handhelds backed into Azure, managed by Intune, with a Yammer client on it for communication, and that's getting the data in and out of Azure so that it's always connected, backed up into Azure databases, which is then integrated into our on-premise financials. And it's just been night and day for the guys out there. 2015, we also rolled out SharePoint and Power BI. SharePoint's not drastically exciting, but it did make a big difference for the guys at the remote sites being able to access data. But the Power BI piece has been very interesting. We're able now to pull together the data from different systems, from our milk payment system to our delivery note system to our EDI system to all of these things, pulling together, providing those dashboards so that Robert can get up in the morning and look at his iPad and then pick up the phone and shout at somebody. So it has been very, very good for them. Skype for Business was something we rolled out last year as well, which again, it was a bit of a challenge, not in terms of the technology, but in terms of the change management and getting people to understand how to use the technology better, how to communicate easier with their fellow employees. And again, it was trying to make the business feel smaller. Can you get the guys at these depots, the three guys in Wick, can they communicate with the guys down in Glasgow very easily? And for the sales meetings, it's been fantastic to reduce the cost of getting guys down from Brecon and Inverurie and all sorts of weird and wonderful places in the Highlands coming down to the Central Belt for sales meetings. And the town hall meetings as well. So every year we do what we call a winning culture meeting, which is to get the board of directors to communicate out with all the staff, so they know what's going on, and that is then broadcast on a Skype town hall meeting, so the guys, again, coming from the north of Scotland, don't need to travel all the way down to see it. And again, that gets recorded so that it can be uploaded onto Office 365 video, which then goes on our digital signage, and you start to see the whole thing coming together now. So that's just been fantastic. So what am I doing this year? I'm really busy this year. It's going to be, we've done self-service password reset, which has taken a huge load off of the IT help desk, so that the guys are able to sort their own security out when they're out on the road. We've 95% through Windows 10 rollout, which has been a huge success. We're doing some system sensor management to manage our Azure piece, which is very much in progress at the moment. We're looking at some multi-factor authentication to help the guys secure the guys accessing remotely from home. We're looking at a customer web application and mobile app based in hosted in Azure, which is then going to allow our customers, the chefs at 11 o'clock at night, to order their cream for the next day, to solve all the problems we've got with it. Believe it or not, we get a lot of orders by fax still. Do you know people still use fax? We get a lot of faxes in every night, and these are chefs scribbling down, I need 4 pints of cream, stick it in the fax machine, and that's the order coming in. So if we can make that process a little bit easier for them, it makes it, we don't have to do the order entry at our side, it keeps a track record. But we can also use things like Azure machine learning to recommend products and spot gaps in our products with customers. And then IoT, hey. Big buzzword. IoT is going to be huge for us. I've got a lot of projects we want to do. We have our milk cages. So you go to the supermarket and you see your milk in those steel cages. Each one of those cages costs 80 quid. We have 250,000 of them, and we lose them like you wouldn't believe. People keep them in their stock rooms to store stuff. People pinch them for scrap metal value. And our competitors will pick them up as well and use them as their own. Quite often, you'll go into the supermarket and you'll see Wiseman milk in an Arla cage, or Graham's Dairy's milk in a Wiseman cage. You'll see all these things. So if we can reduce that loss, that's fantastic. Vehicle monitoring, so 250 vehicles out on the road there. If we can bring that data together, we've got traditional fleet tracking, but can we get the data from the temperatures of the vehicle so that we can then say to customer X, your milk was delivered at 4:32 this morning, the temperature in the van was 3.5 degrees, therefore we're compliant with our contract with you. CCTV, centralizing that into an IoT platform, integrating it with vehicle CCTV to lower insurance costs, to improve reliability of the drivers and driver behavior. Temperature monitoring in our fridges, in all our cold stores, centralizing that. We've got different systems at different places. Door entry systems, silo levels. I mean, we have these great big silos that the raw milk comes in every day from our 98 farmers. And there's a guy stands there and watches the level of this milk. And if he goes away and has a cup of tea and the milk reaches the top of the tank, it comes out the top and starts pouring down the street, which is just useless. So can we have an automated system to do that? Can we integrate that into the central management? Can we know what the levels of raw milk in Nairn are from Bridge of Allen, from our head office, so that we can send the right quantities of milk up for the production? And then production monitoring. So at the moment, all of our production monitoring is done very legacy, very manual, clipboards, tick boxes. Can we start to automate that? Can we bring in some of that data? We talked earlier about data everywhere. Can we start centralizing that? Can we start learning from that? And then the connected cow. So the connected cow it's a bit pie in the sky, to be honest, but it's a system whereby you can put what is essentially a Microsoft, not Microsoft, but a Fitbit kind of thing onto the legs of your cows, and they can detect from the way they walk as to whether they're going into estrus, going to heat, and they can take that window down to sort of a 12-hour gap, and you can predict, depending where in this 12-hour period for insemination, you can predict whether they're going to calf a male calf or a female calf. And obviously, male calves don't produce milk, so we only want female calves in the herd. So if we can improve the productivity of the herd that way, then obviously there's value in that as well. But I'm around all day. Come and grab me if you want to. If you have any questions, I love speaking about this stuff. So happy to answer any questions. You grab me on my emails there, my LinkedIn's there if you want any more. Thank you very much.